Hi everyone, Deb here. I am here with hashtag 10 on the 10th, 25, I think is the right title this year. Anyway, this is a collaboration, open collaboration that Kim over at Metal Scrap and Chick has been hosting for several years. I can't remember how many years now. And it started as 10 on the 10th card collab, but she modified it, I think, last year that it could be 10 of anything related to Christmas. It could be charms, it could be tags, it could be little mini journals, whatever you want. But I did cards this month again. I think I did this last month with Memories and More, easy cards, right? I don't know what I did with those cards. Anyway, that's beside the point. The embellishments I made last month for embellishments on the 11th, though, I did use on the cards today. And before I get into all the stuff I used and what I made, pretty easy cards. It took me about 2.5 hours to finish them, mostly decision making. The card making itself is pretty easy. Anyway. I just want to say happy birthday to Kim, who is the host of this collaboration. So please go over to her channel and wish her happy birthday. It popped up in my Facebook feed, and I didn't go on Facebook yet, but I noticed it was her birthday today. So happy birthday, Kim, and my apologies for not getting a card out. I'm just really not good at that. Anyway. All right, so with the embellishments we did last month, I had used Lost Lagoon color, so I used this cardstock from Stampin' Up! For 5 of the cards. And then I also had used this piece of paper for some of the embellishments, and I used it again for some of the backgrounds. I had to cut into a second piece, unfortunately. And I had used some of this mostly for the snowmen, like these. I think it was mostly all snowmen. Yeah. And then some of the sentiment strips, you can see a piece here that shows some of those. So I had that still out and used it again. That's from Hobby Lobby, Winter Wonderland. I have no idea if it's still available because I got it quite a while ago. It actually has a 2015 copyright. It's pretty thick. It's pretty thick card, and it's got some patterns, all kinds of patterns. And yeah, anyway, I had some scraps in here, and I ended up using a lot of them for the second batch of 5 cards because for those, I used these pre-made cards and envelopes, and there were red ones which I used, which were pretty much this color, sorta. And I didn't use any of the black, and I used, I think, 1 green, maybe 2 green. I'm not sure. I'll show you when we get there. Okay, so let me put them aside. One more thing. I used these on 1 or 2 cards. I used these. I didn't even realize they had sticky dots on them, but I put another one on, some of them. Anyway, I used 2 or 3 of these from Joann's in 2017. Ladybug glitter sprinkles in the darker color. I used quite a few of these. These are clear snowflakes. These were from Hobby Lobby. White snowflake foiled stickers. I guess it's white foil. I don't know. I used some of these. I used some of these greens on 1 card. I used a Merry Christmas. I can't remember if it was red or green out of these that I had done a long time ago where I did the foiling. I did a foiling thing. I think that was for Crack the Vault collab, which I stopped doing now, by the way. I used 1 sticker out of this K & Company adhesive chipboard, which I've had probably for a while, and I don't know where I got it. And I used 1 stamp, Have a Warm Cozy Christmas, that chases the chill of winter away, out of this Gina K high quality on the inside Christmas stamps. I really love this set. If it's still available, highly suggest it. Anyway, let me get these off my desk. I have a few other little things I can share too. I had this unopened Recollections Christmas Noel crafting tape, 5-piece. It was $4.99 whenever I got it, but had these skinny little washies, which are really pretty. I only used these two, and I think only on one card. And on a couple cards, I used this sparkly, love this, sparkly white. This is Stampin' Up! Iridescent ribbon. And I just used a tiny bit of this Lost Lagoon ribbon on top of this somewhere. And for that one stamp, I used Lost Lagoon ink. Okay, so I'll show you the Lost Lagoon ones first, which I like better than the next 5. Okay, so this was the embellishment. This was added. Here's the ribbon. And I messed this up. I probably shouldn't tell you this, but I meant to put this ribbon on top of the white before I put this down, and I accidentally didn't. So I stuck the ribbon end under there, and I had already put I actually used scrapbook.com's adhesive roller. I like it. And put that down in the middle. Actually, I think for this one I used this tear and tape stuff. I don't know where I got this. Anyway, I used the the runner for underneath the clear white ribbon, but I thought it kept the sparkle in mind and brought out the Lost Lagoon. And this is where I had cut into that scrap paper, I think, or maybe this was already this size. And this is the one I stamped inside. Have a warm, cozy Christmas that chases the chill of winter away. That's probably my favorite. I need to put envelopes with these 5 still. I haven't done that. Ugh, sorry. I need to let me come down just a little bit. There we go. So that's the first one. The second one goes this way. I didn't put a white piece in yet either. I didn't have room to cut more white, so I have to do that and put them inside. And I might be stamping more. This was the embellishment here. This was a leftover scrap of paper out of a different paper pad. I cannot remember the name. I don't have it out. And I had only pulled that one paper out when I made these embellishments, but you can see I used it in there. So I used that on the background, and then this was a scrap. And all I did was added 2 more clear rhinestones because this has a clear rhinestone. So, and I did put dimensionals on the bottom of this because it didn't have any to hold it up. And then this one is vertical this way. This cardstock had already been cut, I think, like this. Anyway, this is actually the back of, okay, this is where I cut a piece. So this is the back of this. So I used a long strip 4-inch by 12 by 12. I ended up with a little bit left because these are 5 1/4 and 5 1/4. So that's 10 1/2 out of the 12. So I had another little piece left. I don't think I used that. This was another little scrap, so I put that on top of there, and then this was the embellishment with the Let It Snow. The pearls were already on here. I did put that iridescent ribbon here, and then I just put some of those silvery snowflakes on because it says Let It Snow. I don't know. This one is vertical, but it opens like a regular card. This was a leftover piece of Lost Lagoon I had previously cut out with, I think, with my postage stamp dies. I put 3 of those white foil snowflakes on because this also says Let It Snow. This one, I didn't have any more of these, but this was already on here. And here was another scrap of that same paper I used on this one. And I can't remember where that was from or what company made it. Sorry. I probably told you when I made the cards. It was either a 6x8 or a 6x6 pad from somewhere. Anyway, and then this was the embellishment right here. But I didn't have any more of this background paper out, and I didn't feel like digging to find the paper pad. And this had red on it already, so these two papers were out of that Hobby Lobby paper pad, and they were scraps. So I used those and I wrapped that ribbon around this one. I mean, I just tucked it under the back on that. And although this green doesn't really match, this kind of does, so. And then I put the blue and white snowflakes on, and the red here brought out the red there. So I like it. It's not my favorite. Oops, sorry. I'm up too high. I do that, don't I? So there's the first 5. Let me just show them to you one more time before I put them aside, and I'll show you the next 5. Let me know your favorite of set 1 through 5. So it'll be, oh gosh, 1, I'm going to go a weird way. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Not for any prize, because I think I have mentioned prizes in the past videos from a month or 2 ago, and I think I owe you stuff, but I don't, so I don't want to commit. But just let me know your favorite. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'll keep them stored in that order. And then, let me take a sip of water. I even brought up my warm winter wishes cup. Sorry, getting hoarse. And then these are the ones made on the pre-made cards, and they were made mostly with scraps from the Hobby Lobby paper. And this one, I think, was the first one I did because it was the last embellishment I had previously made right there. I'll just put these all out and then I can explain them, hopefully. Let me put them like this, raise you up a little bit again. There we go. All right, so this was the first one. These were both scraps from the Hobby Lobby paper. This said Happy Holidays. It was already on Crooked. All I did was put a double dimensional because this is pretty dimensional too already. And I didn't want to put more pearls on, but so I put snowflakes because it's a snowman and snowflakes here. And I just put 2 plus the blue one. It's all right. Not my favorite. These in general aren't my favorite. I don't know what order I made the rest of them in. I think it's pretty close. I think this was the last one. Okay, this one this was a Hobby Lobby paper too. I had a long strip and I just cut it to 5.5. Had this snowman paper, which had that kind of dark red, which is similar to that color in the card. And these were left over from making the embellishments last month. So I put the iridescent, and I had it like a wall banner, you know, put them on top of there. I did not bump them up, any of this. And then these were those doodlebug dots because it's a little bit darker red, and they added a little more sparkle. So that's that one. It just says Rejoice. That was left over as well. Nothing on the inside. This one is Santa Claus. These I had made previously when I was doing my hot foil machine. These were scraps, and this is where I used the washi tape. I just felt like it needed something at the bottom. So I put that there, and then here there's a Santa over here that's like cut off, but he's like half a Santa here and down here, and I didn't like that. So I fussy cut these, and this actually had the bottom already flat out of a paper that has all Santa ovals and circles and stuff from the Hobby Lobby paper pad. And then here's the Dollar Tree green. This kind of a mishmash card, and this green doesn't really match there, but you know, oh well. Anyway, I just felt like this needed something, and I was originally going to put twine up here and have a sentiment down here, but I didn't like cutting off the Santas. So, and then inside I had another scrap of Santas. So that's that one. And then this one, this is the K and Company stickers. This was left over, and these were left over. This uses the Stampin' Up! Deckled circles, and this used the deckled rectangles, both of these. And this had already been made last year for, I guess, cards I made last year. This was a scrap. And I was looking all through my bins for something candy cane because I have a candy cane stamp set. I'm too lazy to stamp it today. But when I found this, it had stripes in it like candy canes do, and I thought perfect. And it also has the blue to go with the background, but it didn't look good just on there by itself. So I found this circle already in my Christmas stuff and the rectangle with these greetings. So I used those, and this is bumped up, and this is already dimensional, so I didn't bump that up further. Pretty sure the inside's blank. Yep. And then this one, I also used that deckled season's greetings, and I just added, these are both scraps again. I put this right on the snowman because that was a little bit longer piece, and those snowflakes again, and that's blank inside too. Yep. So those have envelopes because they came with them, and I just have to go grab some envelopes for the other ones. And let me know which is your favorite, and I'll do these as A, B, C with the foiled Merry Christmas, D, and E. A, B, C, D, and E. So you can rewatch if you get confused on which was what, but I'll put them like this. Just let me know your favorites from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and A, B, C, D, and E in the comments down below. I'd really appreciate it. Are you starting on Christmas or holiday cards? I really wanted to do fall, but 10 on the 10th is all about Christmas, and it's that time, guys, because it's September. We really only have October and November to get my cards made and addressed and ready to send, right? Now, the trick will be preparing ahead of time the addresses on the cards and making my list and everything so that I can send them right at the end of November, hopefully, maybe. We'll see. We'll see if I do it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great week, and I will talk to you again tomorrow with embellishments on the 11th. Hugs, love, and peace.